Ever catch yourself reorganizing your spice rack or perfecting your air guitar solo? Basically doing anything but tackling that looming task that's glaring at you like an unpaid parking ticket? You're not alone. Procrastination is the stealthy bandit that hijacks your day and leaves you wondering where it all went wrong. Today, we're diving headfirst into a question you've probably muttered into your cold coffee. Why do I keep procrastinating? Let me introduce Tim Pychyl, the procrastination-busting mastermind from Solving the Procrastination Puzzle, who spent years decoding why we stall and how to break free. I've got 8 killer tricks to get you moving, straight from Pychyl's research lab, served up peak performer zone style with some laughs, stupid simple hacks, and a jolt to level up. Because if you're not crushing your to-do list, you're just polishing excuses for tomorrow's you. Are you ready to kick procrastination's sneaky butt? Let's unravel this mess and charge out swinging. Why does procrastination keep stealing your time? So why does procrastination keep stealing your time like a pickpocket at a crowded fair? Tim Pychyl says it's not about laziness, it's your brain pulling an emotional heist. We're wired to dodge pain and chase quick hits, like scrolling X instead of drafting that report you've been avoiding. Pykyl's work at Carleton University reveals that it's all about feelings. We stall to skip the ugh feeling now, even if it buries us later. Have you ever noticed how saying I'll do it tomorrow feels like a warm hug? According to APA stats, 20% of us are chronic procrastinators. That's 1 in 5 people stuck in this loop. I've delayed doing laundry until my socks staged a mutiny. My brain's always like, let's have fun now and deal with the pain never. Pychyl drops a big bombshell. It's not about managing time, it's about managing your mood. Have you ever put off a call because it felt awkward, then binged puppy reels instead? That's your amygdala, the fear gremlin in your brain, high-fiving instant gratification while your prefrontal cortex, the do it, captain, takes a nap. Have you ever sworn you'd do it later and then woken up in a cold sweat? I've been there. My tax forms once grew a dust beard because I kept putting them off. It's not just you. Stress, boredom, or overwhelmed tag team to keep you stuck. Have you ever stared at a blank page until your eyes glazed over? I've avoided emails until my inbox sent an SOS. If procrastination is your time thief, these 8 tricks are your master key. Let's unlock trick 1 and get rolling. Trick 1, face the mood gremlin. Let's start with trick 1, face the mood gremlin head on. Pychyl says procrastination is an emotional dodge, so you've got to call it out. Have you ever skipped a task because it felt like a root canal? Pychyl suggests naming that vibe. Say to yourself, I'm dreading this, and watch how it shrinks. Studies show that labeling your emotions can cut their grip by 30%. That's some wild science. I used to dodge emails until I admitted I'm stressed, and then bam, I dive right in. Here's a bonus hack. Rate the feeling on a scale from 1 to 10. How bad is it really? Usually it's just a 3. Not a monster. Have you ever let a blah feeling call the shots? I've taken naps instead of writing because my mood won every time. Here's a pro tip. Take a moment to breathe. 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, and it calms that gremlin down fast. Another helpful move is to write down how you're feeling, like I'm feeling off, because it makes the emotion real and less scary. Here's a little teaser. Trick 4 is a sly ninja, so don't bounce just yet. Have you ever felt your gut twist and bailed on a task? I've dodged calls until my phone practically pitied me. What a lame excuse. Here's a bonus trick. Laugh at the feeling. Dumb dread isn't as bossy when you giggle at it. If your mood is acting like a gatekeeper, face it head on. Own those feelings and level up quickly. Trick 2, start stupidly small. Now for trick 2, start stupidly small to get moving. Pychyl is all about taking action over making grand plans. Tiny steps can crush those big stalls. Have you ever frozen at the thought of finishing the project? Pychyl says to go micro, like just open the file or write one word. Research shows that small starts can boost your momentum by 40%. Your brain thinks, oh, we're actually moving. I used to stall on writing blogs, but now I just type a letter and bam, I'm rolling. Here's an extra trick. Set a 2-minute timer because it's too easy to say no to anything longer. Have you ever thought a task was too big and flaked out? I've ditched workouts because an hour felt like a prison sentence. That's overkill. A pro move is to chain your actions. After one small nudge, the next step flows more freely. Another tip is to tell yourself, I'll just do this one thing, because it tricks your brain into getting into gear. Here's a teaser. Trick 5 is a heavy hitter, so stick around. Have you ever stared at a mountain of work and just quit? I've planned to be a new me until I ended up napping. Oops, here's an extra hack. Pick something dumb to start with, like tying your shoes before a run, because small starts stick. If starting feels like a wall, shrink it down, crush that nudge and level up steadily. Trick 3, ditch the perfect plot. Moving on to trick 3, ditch the perfect plot and get going. Pychyl says waiting for the ideal moment is just procrastination in a tuxedo, so toss it out. Have you ever held off until the stars aligned, waiting for the right mood or the right day? Pychyl calls that a myth because perfection is a ghost you'll never catch. According to Psychology Today, obsessing over planning can double your delay. Ouch! Pychyl's fix is to jump in messy. Start now and fix it later. I used to wait for blog genius to strike, but I just stare blankly. Now I scribble something rough, and bam, it turns into gold. Here's an extra move. Tell yourself good enough is fine. 80% done rocks, while 100% just stalls you. Have you ever stalled until everything was pristine? I've plotted runs until my shoes practically retired. That's sad. A pro tip is to set a start ugly rule. Don't prep, just dive in. Another helpful trick is to laugh at the idea of perfection, because imperfect is your friend, not your foe. Here's a teaser. Trick 6 is pure fire, so don't miss it. Have you ever chased flawless until you were dust? I've delayed tasks until deadlines wave goodbye. That's dumb. Here's an extra trick. Time it. Give yourself 5 minutes of chaos, then tweak later. If perfection is your chain, ditch it. Own the mess and level up raw. Trick 4, flip the pain to gain. Let's talk about trick 4. Flip the pain to gain to beat procrastination. Pychyl says we dodge tasks because they feel painful, so you've got to reframe the sting. Have you ever avoided a call because it felt cringeworthy? Pychyl suggests flipping it. Tell yourself, this call gets me paid. Studies show that positive spins can cut procrastination by 25%. Those are some smart vibes. I used to hate invoicing. It was Dread City, but now I think, this is taco cash, and bam, I'm on it. Here's an extra tip. List 3 wins that come from doing the task, like finishing feels dope. Have you ever seen only the suck and run from a task? I've skipped the gym until I tied it to flexing, and then it was game on. A pro trick is to picture the win, visualize the benefit, and the pain fades fast. Another move is to say out loud, this helps me, because it shifts your lens. Here's a teaser. Trick 7 is a wild card, so stay hooked. Have you ever dreaded a task until you were sunk? I've avoided chores until my fridge growled at me. Yikes. Here's an extra hack. Reward yourself after. Finish the task, then grab a coffee. Pain flips quickly. If pain is your block, reframe it. Own the upside and level up boldly. Trick 5. Cue up your start. Now for trick 5, cue up your start to get into action. Pychyl says prompts can spark action, so rig them up. Have you ever floated until noon with zero grip on your day? Pychyl suggests tying tasks to triggers, like after coffee, I write. His research shows that cues can boost follow-through by 40%. Boom! I used to drift aimlessly, but now I tell myself, post-breakfast, laptop, and bam, I'm in. Here's an extra move. Make the cue loud. Set an alarm that screams, go time. Have you ever missed your own signals until it was dusk? I've ignored my start cues until dinner judged me. That's a lost day. A pro tip is to stack your cues, like coffee, desk, pen, so the flow is unmissable. Another trick is to say out loud, after X, I do Y, because it locks the habit in tight. Here's a teaser. Trick 8 is a banger, so don't fade now. Have you ever flailed until you were nowhere? I've wandered until my cat outworked me. That's sad. Here's an extra hack. Place something to trigger you, like leaving your pen out, so your brain clicks into gear. If your cues are weak, juice them up. Crush the trigger and level up smoothly. Trick 6, snap the delay loop. Let's move to trick 6. Snap the delay loop to stop stalling. Pychyl says telling yourself, I'll feel like it later, is a scam. Action flips your mood, not the other way around. Have you ever waited for motivation that just ghosts you? Pychyl calls it a trap. Delay feeds dread, and dread feeds more delay. According to the APA, acting first can cut anxiety by 20%. Yes, please. Pychyl's fix is to count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then move. No debate allowed. I used to stall on dishes, but I counted down, scrubbed, and bam, I was done. Here's an extra tip. Say now out loud because it jolts you like a shock. Have you ever looped until you were toast? I've delayed taxes until fines waved high. That's panic city. A pro move is to pair the countdown with action. Count, then jump, and the habit sticks. Another helpful trick is to stand up and move because it breaks the spell. Here's a teaser. Trick 8 is your rocket, so stick with me. Have you ever spiraled until you were a wreck? I've looped until my plans laughed at me. Time to stop it. Here's an extra trick. Clap your hands. A sharp sound snaps you out of it. If loops are trapping you, snap them. Own the count and level up fast. Trick 7, anchor your why. Now for trick 7, anchor your why to stay on track. Pychyl says a weak why fuels stalls, so you've got to root it deep. Have you ever shrugged, "Who cares?" and drifted off? Pychyl suggests linking the task to your core, like, "This report keeps my gig." Studies show that having a purpose can boost your drive by 30%. That's power fuel. I used to skip calls because of me vibes, but now I think, it's my rent, and bam, I'm dialing. Here's an extra move. Write down your why, like, "I do this for X," because it grounds you solidly. Have you ever floated because the task felt like noise? I've ignored chores until my sink rebelled. That's lame. A pro tip is to tell someone about your why. Accountability bites, but in a good way. Another trick is to picture the goal, see it clearly, and your why shines bright. Here's a teaser. Trick 8 is the clincher, so don't miss the launch. Have you ever lost the thread until you were adrift? I've moped until my coffee judged me. Time to snap out. Here's an extra hack. Ask yourself, who benefits from this? It shifts your focus quickly. If your why is a ghost, anchor it. Crush the drift and level up fiercely. Trick 8. Reward the hustle. Finally, trick 8, reward the hustle to keep going. Pychyl says we crave instant hits, so give them to action, not delay. Have you ever bribed yourself with "after this"? Pychyl suggests rewarding the win, like 10 minutes done, snack time. His data shows that rewards can spike habit strength by 35%. That's a sweet deal. I used to drag on writing, but now I tell myself, finish a paragraph, grab a coffee, and bam, I'm flying. Here's an extra tip. Keep the reward small, like a cookie, not a whole cake, so it stays realistic. Have you ever skipped the high five until you were dry? I've slogged until I hated it. No joy there. A pro move is to cheer yourself on. Say "nailed it" out loud to amp up the buzz. Another helpful trick is to track your wins. Keep a streak going, and the dopamine flows. This is the finale, so stick around for the payoff. Have you ever grinded until you were a shell? I've worked until my spark quit. That's a dumb trade. Here's an extra trick. Mix up the reward, like playing your favorite music, to keep it fresh. If your hustle goes unrewarded, juice it up, own the win, and level up happy. That's the rundown, crew. 8 tricks to kick procrastination's tail with Tim Pychyl's research smarts. Face the gremlin. Start small. Ditch perfection. Flip pain. Queue up. Snap loops. Anchor your why. And reward the hustle. You'll move like a champ. Which trick is your game changer? Drop it below. Want more action hacks? Check out How Do I Recover from Burnout Fast on Peak Performer Zone next. It's packed with restore juice. Catch you there. Go level up, fam.